Hello out there in YouTube world. Today I'm not going to do my typical vlog slash sort of thing. I'm going to talk about how every time I try to do a video, I get reflection on my glasses. I'm joking. Um, Cassandra Syndrome and some of the after effects after being with somebody that's had Asperger's or somebody that's had like narcissism and has drilled you for an extended period of time. Um, of course, if you look up Cassandra Syndrome, you know the ton of symptoms and stuff like that. So I'm not going to get into those so much as more of how you are as an individual afterwards, or even during, for that matter. A prime example is looking at things for what they really are rather than what your brain perceives things as. We tend to get stuck in this mode, and I do it myself, and I can say this because this is what I do myself. We tend to see a scenario and we think, and I guess you don't necessarily have to have Cassandra Syndrome to think this, but we think that that is in stone because that is the way we see it, when that is not always the case. Unfortunately, when you have Cassandra Syndrome and you've been tore down a lot, you often look at things from a not so bright side. One of the reasons being is because of how you've been programmed by these people. In a lot of instances, and in all instances, if you've been with somebody that has constantly nagged you, if you're with a narcissist, you're constantly nagged all the time. I mean, if you made a cake, they would sit there and they would find one little thing wrong with that cake. And you start seeing everything and picking apart every little thing. Not only do you pick apart yourself, but you do it with other people. You don't tend to see the good side of everything. You tend to see more from a negative aspect because you have been picked apart for so long. Myself, I have misophonia, and it's something that's genetic, I guess, in my bloodline because my daughters also have it. And here's an example. Most of the time, it has to consist of what you hear, but there's also a visual thing that goes on there. So all of us that I know of, if we hear somebody eating loudly, we get enraged by it. Or if we see somebody doing something that we know the outcome is going to be a certain sound, we get enraged just by the visual. But then it goes a little bit deeper. It's not just the fact of hearing somebody eat, but I also have a problem with somebody if they say the word singer or hanger. If they take and say singer, hanger with a strong G, I want to slap them in the mouth. It's misophonia. And it's actually triggered a little bit more with Cassandra Syndrome afterwards because you're constantly noticing every detail of everything because it's been pointed out to you. So you are very visual, all your senses are heightened because you're always a little bit on edge, always afraid you're not doing something just a little bit perfect. And who's perfect? So this is just something that I've been thinking of because I've been in a room today. Well, Mike is out at work, and it just all makes a lot of sense, and I see where a lot of it has fallen under like the Cassandra Syndrome thing because we do pick apart everything. If you've picked apart things and you haven't had Cassandra Syndrome, you know, that's normal too, but you definitely do. Once you get away from that, you still carry on quote unquote PTSD, which is really overused today in psychiatry. And when I hear kids saying PTSD, it's like, you have no idea. PTSD is what people from Vietnam had. not some little thing that annoyed you when you were younger that you carry with you today. That's how I look at PTSD. So, another thing a lot of us with Cassandra Syndrome have, and us as a whole in society, especially now with the COVID thing and everybody's feeling tensions and stuff, anxiety. Let's face it. I mean, we have chemical imbalances from our food alone. And then if we have illness and stuff like that, we have that added to it. Maybe a chemical imbalance can cause anxiety and panic attacks and stuff. And basically, it's screwing with your adrenals, and your cortisol's going crazy, and you got that flight or fight response, and fight and flight and flight and fight and vice versa. I just recently had a problem at Lowe's when I was going down an aisle, and I had a mask on, and I smelled like fiberglass or something they had in the aisle, and this guy was showing me where something was, and he's moving really fast throughout the store, and I normally do too, because I have balance issues, so I kind of tend to walk faster. But when the smell hit inside my mask, I'm having this fight or flight response, and I'm like, I gotta get the hell out of here. And this guy's way ahead of me up in the store, and all of a sudden my legs are locking up, and I'm trying to breathe, and I'm panicking, and then my line gets set off, and I start having all the symptoms of that, and it's just like, this is fruitless. It's time to go. Nothing gets accomplished because anxiety, the big A word. Yeah. So a lot of times, people will tell you, just breathe. Breathe in. Well, you know what? You're actually doing the wrong thing when you're breathing in all this oxygen because you're feeding it. You have to breathe out longer than breathing in. Most people don't know that. If you're breathing in for a long 5 seconds, you got to breathe out for at least 7 to 8. And that's how you push the anxiety out. If you're sitting there constantly telling yourself to calm down, this is only a panic attack, come on. How many people have been told to calm down in a situation? How many times has it worked? Doesn't, does it? Because you're feeding into the thought of that anxiety by telling yourself to calm down. You're feeding it. So you kind of have to relax from the ground up. But I'm getting a little off track here with the Cassandra Syndrome. But yeah, one thing that I need to work on, along with a lot of people that have Cassandra Syndrome, is to not always pick apart every little thing like the narcissist has done in your life. Or whatever has caused you to have traumatic issues. The whole thing's chaos, and I would highly suggest just looking up videos and stuff to find out relaxation techniques and how to get yourself into a mode where your parasympathetic system actually can learn how to kick back in. And I do know that a lot of sleep is a helpful thing. A lot of people with anxiety tend to overdo, and they figure if they keep busy, it's going to take care of the anxiety. But what happens is you end up with adrenal fatigue, and you end up with fatigue, and then that turns from anxiety into depression, and then you're ready to just like go bang. And there's so much out there on anxiety, and a lot of us are going crazy with the COVID. We really just need to look at ways to relax ourselves. And always remember, when you're relaxing yourself, to work from the feet up. Don't work from the brain down. As far as Cassandra Syndrome, there's lots of videos out there and stuff on it. I've done videos prior on it. And I had been dealing with it for about 17 and a half years. And just because I left the person does not mean a year and a half later that I still don't suffer from it. So you can still suffer from it. You can suffer from it with people, like if you have a partner that has Asperger's, and while that person may not be out to necessarily destroy your life, due to the fact that you don't always get proper responses like eye contact. You're left a lot of times to rush and hurry up because they just whisk away. They don't offer to a lot of times help you. Like if you're getting ready to go to the store, you know, they're already, all right, boom, it's in their head. It's time to go to the store. They walk out the door. Meanwhile, maybe you're getting your kids ready and you've got to grab your purse and or your wallet and you've got to grab something off the counter because you need this or some coupons over here. So there's a lot to it. This video is kind of like all over the place. It's bouncing all over. But I just wanted to stress that the main thing with this is that a lot of times after having Cassandra Syndrome or currently living with it, you tend to look at things from a dark side. And no, I'm not saying that I don't notice good things or anything like that, but it's just one of the symptoms that you get because you have been picked apart, like I said, so many times that you become used to picking every little thing apart and noticing every little thing. You know, there's so many things in my case that can set me off. It could be somebody just being hyperactive and moving around really quick and this and that. It's like, slow the hell down. Or, like I said, pronunciations and things like that. People that aren't pronouncing their words right. Like I was an English teacher or something. But anyway, overly happy people. People that are bouncing all over the place. It's like, shut the hell up. What kind of happy pill are you on? Chill the hell out. Cassandra Syndrome stinks. So, what do? We seek therapy, and probably years of it, to get it. But this was not taught to me by my therapist at all. This is just some stuff that I thought up and noticed repetitive forms and stuff in my ways of thinking and so on. So, I hope all of you guys are having a good day. Get a chance, go online, look up more videos and stuff that deal more with all the symptoms of Cassandra Syndrome rather than just one or two that I throw out there every so often. All right, take care, and I will catch you guys soon. Bye-bye.